Hello everybody, happy November, and welcome to another edition of Random Video Thursday. And today it's going to be another Beatles themed video, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I actually have some Beatles records. To show you. That's what I've been wanting to do for a while now. I only have two Beatles albums on vinyl, but they're still pretty cool. So I'll show them to you. So the first of two is Introducing the Beatles. This is the American version of the band's first album, Please Please Me. This record was released in early 1964 by a little-known record company called Beatles Records. And one difference between this album and Please Please Me features 14 songs, whereas Introducing the Beatles has 12 songs. Two songs were omitted. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Here's the record itself, which is in pretty good condition. I actually have a record player, and I occasionally listen to the Beatles records on the record player. And this record is in pretty good condition, actually. No damage on the label, as you can see. And aside from some wavy noise on some parts of the album, it's still in pretty good condition. And every song on the album plays very well. Introducing the Beatles has some great songs. It starts off with the opening track, I Saw Her Standing There, Misery. Now, the first Beatles album contains some great cover songs. John Lennon sang a cover of the Arthur Alexander song, Anna. George Harrison sang a cover of the Jerry Goffin and Carole King song Chains, while Ringo Starr sang a cover of the song Boys, originally a Dixon and Farrell song. There's also Ask Me Why, Please Please Me. Now, Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You are the two songs that were omitted from the American version of the first album. Love Me Do was the Beatles' first single in the United Kingdom, but their first single in the United States was Please Please Me. P.S. I Love You is a love ballad written by Paul McCartney. Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You would eventually be released in the United States as a single in the spring of 1964, shortly after the Beatles became a pop culture phenomenon in the United States. Additionally, John Lennon sang a cover of the Shirelles song, Baby It's You. Then there's Do You Want to Know a Secret, which was written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon, but sung by George Harrison. And then Paul McCartney sang a cover of the Scott and Marlowe song, A Taste of Honey. There's a Place, and finally the closing track, which is a cover of the Medley and Russell song, Twist and Shout. And the other Beatles record I have to show is Let It Be. This is the Beatles' last album. It was released in the spring of 1970, shortly after they broke up. The box isn't in the best condition, but the record itself does play very well. Nice artwork on the gatefold. And you can see, which has pictures of the recording sessions from the album. And as many of you know, the Beatles' last 4 albums were produced by Apple Records, a record company that the Beatles that was founded by the Beatles themselves. The record here is in pretty good condition. It does have a couple scratches, but it plays very well. And as you might know, the final mix of this album was added by Phil Spector, the infamous record producer. And I've actually listened to this album a few times before, and it sounds really nice. Great songs on Let It Be. This is one of my favorite Beatles albums. It features the opening track, Two of Us, Dig a Pony, an eccentric song by John Lennon, Across the Universe, which was originally released on a charity album in the UK called Nothing's Going to Change My World, originally recorded by the Plastic Ono Band. And the song was eventually re-released on Let It Be. Then there's I, Me, Mine, the last song recorded for Let It Be. Dig It, which was written by all 4 Beatles. Let It Be, the most emotional song on the album. Maggie May, the Beatles' cover of a classic British folk song. And there's I've Got a Feeling, which was one of the songs that the Beatles performed on the famous rooftop concert, Roof of Apple Studios. And then One After 909, The Long and Winding Road, which was released as a single in the United States. It was the Beatles' last single. For You Blue, and finally Get Back. Get Back had originally been released as a single before being re-released as the closing track of Let It Be. And there we go. Those are my Beatles records. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Once again, happy November. And thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe, like the video if you enjoy it, share it with your friends, and comment down below. I will see you next time.